Hello darlings, this is Cleeve. I'm in my kitchen again and I'm about to make some Johnny cakes, which I would say Johnny cakes are like biscuits to Americans or maybe even baguettes to the French people. But yes, I am going to make Johnny cakes for my Aunt Linda, who absolutely adores them. And so let's get right into it. So today we're gonna need about 4 to 5 cups of flour, coconut milk. I would like to use the fresh squeezed coconut milk, but I don't have any at the moment, so I'm gonna be using the canned coconut milk. 8 tablespoons of shortening or butter, half cup of sugar, 2 teaspoons of salt, and 4 teaspoons of baking powder. So let's get right into it. So I have my Kitchen Aide here, and I'm gonna attach my hook in a few minutes, in a few seconds. But this recipe is pretty much easy. I'm just gonna add my flour in here. When I was younger, living with my grandmother, we actually had to knead by hand, and she had a wonderful kneading bowl, of which you rarely see these days. Anyway, I've added my flour. I'm going to add the sugar. I am going to add the salt. And I did not sieve my flour. I usually don't. However, though, I do sieve the baking powder because that can be really lumpy. So it does get, as you can see, it's, really lumpy. And then I just really smash out the rest. There we go. And then I will add my shortening. And I have opened up my can of coconut milk, but before I do that, I am going to put my hook on and have this start turning around for a few minutes. I have no idea where my shield protector is for my Kitchen Aide, but we'll make do. So now I'll start pouring in the coconut milk. And this is gathering quite nicely. So after a couple of minutes of roaming around in the Kitchen Aide, that is what it looks like. I'm going to turn that off now, and I am going to put it on the counter and give it a few kneading hands. Oh. Wonderful. See, it comes right out of there. And I am just going to knead this out a little. It's nice and soft. So after about a few minutes of kneading by hand, I'm just going to roll this baby up. And I'm going to put it back in the pan and let it rest for about 15 minutes. Gonna cover it up and put it to the side. And I'm gonna clean my kitchen up while that is resting and get my pans preset for making my Johnny cakes. So as my dough is resting, I have lit my oven to preheat, and I'm gonna get these baking pans ready. And I'm going to spray on some coating just so that the Johnny cake won't stick. And those are ready to go. I'm going to need that fork. So now that my Johnny cakes have rested for a while, I'm going to take the dough and roll, and place on my cookie sheet and press down a little bit. I'm not sure if you can see that, what I'm doing. And I keep them about 1.5 inches apart while they're baking. Okay, once you've gotten your Johnny cakes out on your baking sheet and you have them flattened down, I take a fork and I just poke them in the top a few times. Gives it a little presentation. Honestly, I don't know why people do that. I picked up this habit from my mom. My grandmother never really did this to her Johnny cakes, and I'm not sure why, but I really need to find out why people do that. But I think it's cute, so that's the reason I do it. And like I said, I picked up this habit from my mom. So now these are ready to go into the oven. So I have preheated my oven, and I'm going to put these in. And they're gonna bake for maybe about 15-20 minutes. So let's wait and see. Okay, so it's been about 15 minutes. I'm gonna pull these out, and they look like they're done. Bottom is nice and golden brown. Usually, when the top is still kind of palish, I would put them under the oven broiler, but my oven doesn't have one, so they're still pretty much done. And I'm gonna put these in here to cool off. But I am gonna take 2, and I'm going to make a ham and cheese sandwich for Bruce so he can eat. Oh, those look lovely. Okay. Cover them up to keep them warm. And I have the other pan ready. And I'm going to have this pan cool down a little bit because I have a few more to go. So now that these have cooled down a bit, I'm going to be making 2 sandwiches for Bruce with these. They're not that cool, they're still a little bit hot. But look at the inside of those. Yum. And I'm going to use a little bit of creamy butter. I'm going to take a piece of Happy Cow processed cheese and a slice of ham, and you have a ham and cheese sandwich. And that's for Bruce's lunch today. So I'm still waiting on the rest of these Johnny cakes to finish baking, but that's pretty much it. And we'll be getting around to the rest of them in just a few. Okay, so as I'm pulling out the last set of Johnny cakes to be baked, they're all done, and they all look fantastic. Bruce got his sandwich, his ham and cheese sandwich, and I am now going to keep a couple of these for myself for later on today with coffee and butter and guava jelly. And the rest are gonna go to my Aunt Linda, who should be very happy for her Johnny cakes. So thanks for sitting in today, guys. Those were Johnny cakes, and we should have some more stuff coming in the week. This is a new process for me, so hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day. Bye.